What happens if a situation arises that you were unprepared for? A situation such as a blizzard, a tornado, or being locked down due to a virus. Put yourself in any possible situation that could arise. Now ask yourself, what would you do? Where would you go? What do you need? Are you ready? Because what if tomorrow? Welcome to another episode of What If Tomorrow. I'm Philip.
And I'm Mark.
And we are the show, y'all. I mean, if you've been listening for a while, you know we're such an awesome show. We are so awesome that we put the in awesome.
It's true.
No, I think that's the truth. I mean, we just put the you guys again. How are you guys?
What are these clowns doing again?
Yep. Why am I finding this crap on? No, folks, no, we thank you guys for hanging out with us and showing up and just listening to our nonsense, listening to us just complain and whine and everything else, about what's going on in the world.
I need somebody to send me some
something.
cheese for that wine.
I know it. We definitely appreciate it, y'all. Sorry about missing last Monday's show. Just, man, there was so much going on, and I wasn't prepared at all for this show tonight. So we decided to postpone it, and rather than giving you a less than mediocre show, because we strive for average around here. So if we get above average, we're doing really good. We thank you guys for hanging out with us. Do us a favor, check us out over at whatiftomorrowmedia.com. Check our affiliates out, My Patriot Supply. We got some stuff we're going to share tonight. We're kind of talking possibly more food shortages. It's the same old dance. I mean, really, everything we've covered here, especially recently, you're looking at looming food shortages, supply chain issues, all that. And it's no different. Go look at My Patriot Supply. Help us out. Help support the show. But most of all, we want you all to be ready. We want you all to be prepared with your own food storage. Make it to where you don't have to depend on anybody for your safety, for your family. So get some insurance. Go to My Patriot Supply. Follow the link in the description, or go to our website. Click the link. But most of all, get ready. Y'all. And if you don't, so be it. There's other places out there. You guys go decide, but we just ask that you get ready. If you haven't started yet, now is the time. EMP shield. Again, possible nuclear strikes. The government's coming out and buying all the iodine and all that stuff. I want to say Poland has, which I understand more so Poland.
Oh, yeah.
There's even more to it. Some of the news that we'll probably talk about, we don't even have pulled up to share. Like North Korea's testing so many damn missiles shooting over Japan. China's got missiles they can shoot over and hit us. Again, take the time to make yourself accountable to be ready. It doesn't take much to start. Real simple, real easy. Ramen noodles, Kraft mac and cheese, the dry stuff. Might taste like, just be ready. Who else am I missing here? Conflicted the game. Again, if you guys go back, check out that episode, you can hear us and Willie playing the game and along with some of our listeners. Challenging. It challenges your beliefs. It challenges you to put yourself in that situation to figure out what you would do. And a lot of times it's really tough.
Yeah.
And, we got merch and all that good stuff up there. Excuse me. All that good stuff up there. Excuse me. I'm choking on my spit. But anyway, we're going to kick this off. if my mouse will work.
What in the wide world is going on here?
I'll kick it off with this one here. Speaking of China, let's see, on the Blaze, and we're going to cover some other stuff that popped up on the Facebook group as well.
Yeah.
But Chinese dictator calls for military build up, threatens all measures necessary to take Taiwan. You can bet that they are watching what's going on in Russia. Absolutely. Yeah. Throughout the world, we're being seen as extremely weak because of our president.
Or lack thereof.
Hey, what's up, brother? Hey, Willie. Yeah, man, we're being seen as extremely weak. That's the biggest thing, and this is no different with Xi Jinping. You know, he came out and said, I'm just going to kind of give this a rundown. They're talking about possibly going into Taiwan, which is extremely contested between us and China. And our president has said that if they attack, we're going to back Taiwan up. I'm honestly not convinced, but it's a possibility. But the minute, I mean, you can guarantee that Xi Jinping is talking to Putin. Guarantee it.
Yep. I guarantee it.
I mean, I guarantee Xi Jinping knows exactly what's going on and what Putin's planning on doing, or he wouldn't be emboldened. Then again, he may, because our president is projecting weakness. And also, you know, in the speech, he talked for like 4 hours. Well, he had to use one for each hour, Willie. Willie said 4 microphones. Is he compensating for something? Well, yeah. I mean, he had to talk for like 4 hours. Or he gave a 4-hour speech. I couldn't imagine sitting there for 4 hours listening to this guy drone on. He extended his reign, you know, for another 5 years. You know, he's going to be president for at least another 5 years. And it's going to be one of those things that, well, come the 4th year, he's going to extend it again because it's for national security. You know, he talked national security mentioned national security, I think 26 times is what the article says.
Yeah.
You know, further warning to the U.S. and other Western allies, which are perceived as interfering in Taiwan affairs. So there's some saber rattling going on, obviously. The Office of Taiwanese President Tsai Ing-wen issued a response to Xi's speech, emphasizing the island nation is a sovereign and democratic country. His spokesman, Javier Chang, said the consensus of the Taiwanese public is that the territorial sovereignty, independence, and democracy cannot be compromised, and that the military conflict is not an option for the two sides of the Taiwan Strait. Taiwan's insistence on its sovereignty comes amid sustained encroachments on the island by the PLA. If you're not aware of what the PLA is, it's the People's Liberation Army. Willie, that's going to be my new setup. If I went 3 mics at once, or I ain't showing up. On a real note, that's very serious stuff. Yes, it is. Absolutely. Part of Xi's expressed desire to protect China's so-called core interest involves accelerated military buildup, which will not just affect Taiwan, but all the countries in the region. Well, of course. I mean, China is a huge player in that region.
They're the player in that region almost.
Yeah, they are, really. I mean, Japan, I mean, we're there. I mean, absolutely. We're in Japan, Korea. We're within distance. So that's something to keep in mind. You know, real quick. I mean, just be ready. I mean, if you see the governments are, like I said, buying up iodine tablets, all that. We kind of discussed that here in a couple episodes ago, I think, where we talked about, you know, the iodized salt, preparing for nuclear war, nuclear winter, things like that, just because it's in the news. What'd you say, Mark? We were at DEFCON 2?
I can't remember what the DEFCON was.
I think that's what it was.
I think it was
no, it was like 2 minutes to midnight, wasn't it?
Yeah, 2 minutes to midnight.
Yeah, I don't know what DEFCON we're in. You know, defense condition, but 2 minutes to midnight. We were what, 7 minutes to midnight
at one
during
time,
the Cold War. Yeah, during the Cold War, I think we were at 7 minutes to midnight. Now we're at 2. It won't take much. Now, will we respond in kind if Putin or whatever launches a nuke? What's that?
I think it was in seconds, not minutes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was not good. I'm gonna look it up here again to see.
Okay.
100 seconds to midnight, less than 2 minutes.
Less than 2 minutes.
Yes.
So that ought to put things in perspective. You know, I mean, during the Cold War against Russia, we were at 7 minutes. You know, I imagine there was a few times like during the Bay of Pigs or the Cuban Missile Crisis, we were closer. But for the most part, we were at 7 minutes. And now we're at, you know, what, a minute and a half, a little over a minute and a half to midnight.
Yep.
So just be ready, pay attention. As with anything preparedness wise, just pay attention. Understand what's going on in with your surroundings, especially what's going on in the nation, which everybody feels it, I'm sure, at the pump, at the grocery prices, the inflation that's going on, which it's all by design. Our monetary system now, since the was it not Coolidge, Woodrow Wilson started the Federal Reserve, which is not federal.
Wilson.
Yeah, it's not federal. It's not owned or ran by the United States government. It is privately owned, privately ran. It's a group of banks that loan us the money. In case you're not familiar as to how it works, they loan the federal government the money with interest, just like if you were to go to the bank and get a loan. They make their money through interest. That money doesn't exist until they give you that loan. So, along with same with the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve loans the government the money plus the interest. Well, it's almost to the point where we can't even make the interest payment. And it's by design because you're seeing massive transference of wealth. So they're going to come in, start foreclosing on people's properties, things like that.
And it'll all belong to the government.
Right. And that is by design. 100 year, it's a 100-year plan. Look it up. It's the progressive movement. It's a 100-year plan because they knew they couldn't outright come and do this. So, the whole frog in the boiling pot scenario, that's what it is. And I think we're coming to a pretty good boil now but thankfully, people are waking up to it. People are like, no, this isn't right. And I do want to share this. It's from our Facebook group. Let's see what we got here. This is a gentleman at a Ocasio-Cortez AOC, one of her conferences or whatever.
Nuclear war, which you voted to send arms and weapons to Ukraine. Tulsi Gabbard, she's left the Democratic Party because they're a bunch of war hawks. Okay? You originally voted, you ran as an outsider. Yet you've been voting to start this war in Ukraine. You're voting to start a thermonuclear war with Russia and China. Why are you playing with the lives of American citizens? You're playing with our lives.
There will be no neighbors if there's a nuclear bomb. You voted to mobilize and send money to Ukrainian Nazis. You're a coward. You're a progressive socialist. Where are you against the war mobilization? He's telling the right truth. You have done nothing. Tulsi Gabbard has shown guts where you've shown cowardice. I believed in you, and you became the very thing you sought to fight against. That's what you've become. You are the establishment, and you are the reason why everybody will end up in a nuclear war unless you choose to stand up right now and denounce the Democratic Party. Will you do that? Yes or no? Okay, simple. Are you going to stop nuclear war? Yes or no? There is no line because this is bullshit. None of this matters if we're all dead. None of it. You know that. Then let's take it up right now because this is the only thing that matters. This is the only thing that matters right now. We could be in a nuclear war at any minute, and you continue to fund it. That's what's going on. Why not right now?
You're being
the
rude.
liar here. Nobody has held you accountable. That's what's happening. And it is time for you
It wouldn't be funny if she wasn't such a maroon.
I know it.
Let your
What a
conscience
maroon.
come for once.
Thank you, Bugs Bunny.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I mean, that's perfect.
The Democratic Party is coming apart at the seams.
They are, Tulsi Gabbard, who was a Democratic presidential
Hopeful.
not nominee. I'm sorry, hopeful. You said,
Hopeful.
yeah, hopeful. She ran for president in 2020, and obviously she didn't get the nod. But now, I mean, the Democrat Party has went so far left that she's like, no, it's almost the same as Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Am I saying I trust her? No. But I would honestly rather see her in office
Than what we got.
or than more than what we have. Big Willie said, "This bull blankety blank." It is what it is. Yeah, you're right. But yeah, AOC, all these people that are supposed to be anti-establishment. And this is the thing that happens on both sides, left and right. This is what happens when they go to Washington. They may have the purest of intentions in fighting for their beliefs and their constituents.
And
When they get up there, they sell out. They sell their souls. Probably 99.9%. Yeah. Okay. Chris said she's read that she's going independent so she can run in 2024. I can see that. But she seems to be, and I'm not convinced, but Tulsi Gabbard seems to be very constitutional. Support of the Constitution, which I believe is the majority of Americans. But now they're starting to see that this is like everything is going so far against it. There was another story in the news last week about the FBI raiding somebody and arresting them on the whole FACE Act thing, preventing access to abortion clinics when these people weren't. They were peacefully protesting within the limits of the law. They even called the police and said, "Okay, this is what we plan on doing. Are we good to go?" And the cops said, "Well, it would be a misdemeanor, but other than that, yeah, you'll be fine." And the misdemeanor was for trespassing. So again, they got arrested, went to jail, all that stuff. Got charged with a misdemeanor. The judge basically slapped them on the wrist and sent them on their way. Now the FBI is involved in the Justice Department. Well, they came out and said, "Nope, that's a felony." After it's already been tried. Isn't that double jeopardy?
It is double jeopardy.
I mean, the whole double jeopardy clause. I mean, I guess they could fight it.
There's no Constitution anymore if you're on the left.
Right,
They
absolutely.
can do whatever the hell they want.
Yep. Let's see. Willie said, if people would like to know more about Tulsi Gabbard, they should listen to her interview with Joe Rogan. I really liked what I heard from her. I've heard some good things come from her. She did an interview with Glenn Beck.
She's not horrible.
No, she's not horrible at all.
She's more of your blue dog Democrat that we grew up with. They were fairly conservative. They were our friends and neighbors, and we were fine with that.
Right. And really that's what she is. I mean, but that's just about her. But I think her leaving the Democrat Party is just a symptom.
I think that's correct.
And it's becoming seemingly the norm because they talk about the right-wing extremists and all this. And yes, there are some. I'm not going to deny that.
No, there's definitely are some.
But it seems like there's a lot more left-wing extremists.
Well, the left-wing extremists have become so predominant that they're the mainstream now.
Right. Yeah, I mean, there's like, well, she's not even a Democrat anymore. She's a conservative, basically a wolf in sheep's clothing, all that crap. I can't say I would support her. Now, if it was between her and Joe Biden,
oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, I probably would support her, because I feel she would be a better choice. I mean, but in all honesty, I'm tired of the lesser of two evil vote.
She's at least lucid.
True. I mean, she's got her faculties for sure. Anyway, I mean, it's not really about her, but you had something to share, Mark?
I do, and I hopefully this does not get us kicked off of YouTube.
Just don't
So,
say the dreaded V word.
I won't say anything about the V word, but our wonderful researchers with the University of or Boston University have developed a new strain of COVID that has an 80% fatality rate. I've got the article right here. It's a lovely article. And let me kill the sound on it so I can share it. It's like, are you guys kidding me?
Oh shit, that's Sonny.
Oh,
What's up, brother?
So
Coming up as Facebook user.
I'm going to present this here. Yeah, it's really nice. Share screen and all right. So here we go. Boston University said they have developed a new COVID strain that has an 80% kill rate following a series of similar experiments first thought to have started the global pandemic that began in China. The variant, a combination of Omicron and the original virus in Wuhan, killed 80% of the mice infected with it. The mice were only exposed to Omicron. They had mild symptoms. There was no fatalities, apparently. The research was conducted by a team of scientists from Florida and Boston at the school's National Emerging Infectious Disease. Well, the only reason it's emerging is because you're creating it. I I'm not a big I'm not a big proponent of that. And
No,
I want to
absolutely.
know were my tax dollars used to create a doomsday weapon. The
That's exactly
original
what it was.
virus had a 1% fatality rate. This has an 80% fatality rate.
I heard today, talking about fatality rate and all that, it was less than 1%. It was I want to say 0.70 or whatever.
Yeah.
And oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, it's like, yeah, 0.6, 0.7. I'll just call it 1 to make it sound even scarier. And
Right.
then we go ahead and create what they were warning us against.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah,
are these people just educated morons? I think so.
I don't know, man. I'm not convinced they're morons. I'm not convinced it's not by design.
Well, it might be, but if Boston all of a sudden goes dark because of a virus, we know why.
Right. Well, I
That
mean, the
thing
monkeypox
escapes.
didn't take off.
No, this thing escapes. This is going to kill 80% of the population of the world. This
Right.
is what the left has been wanting for years, is to reduce the global population.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we'll go down from 8 billion people to less than 1 billion people worldwide. And then the disease and death on top of that caused by supply chain collapsing and disease from, there won't be anybody to pick up the dead.
Right.
It's going to be like the bubonic plague.
Oh yeah, easily, especially in highly populated areas.
Oh yeah, the cities will be the first to go.
Oh, easily. I don't know. I heard a clip. I'm gonna try to word this so we don't get shut down on YouTube. But I heard the V. We'll just call it that. A European Parliament member was asking somebody that worked for one of the companies that started with a P that developed the V. I don't like talking in code. I'd rather say it outright. But you guys are following, I hope. If it was tested to prevent transmission. And she outright says, no, it wasn't. So think about that. It wasn't tested.
to make money.
Yeah. It wasn't tested. So people lost their jobs, lost their livelihoods, losing their lives, from what I understand. And for something that wasn't proven, which is no surprise. In all honesty, it's not a surprise to me. It's not. So I don't know. You can look it up and find it. I was going to share it on here, but I don't want to play the audio of it because it's got that dreaded word in there that we got slapped for a couple episodes ago.
Yep,
So and pulled down.
Took us down off YouTube.
Yep.
I've got one more news story. I'm going to completely skip the one about possible nuclear war and jihad.
Yeah.
And
Chris,
talk about something a little closer to home.
Yeah, Chris, real quick. Crystal said she read that too. They told us all it was to prevent. Then under oath, she told the truth.
Yep. All right. My last news story that I'm going to share is New England risks winter blackouts as gas supplies tighten. So, New England, which relies on natural gas imports to bridge winter supply gaps, is now competing with European companies for shipments of liquefied natural gas, following Russia's halt of most pipeline gas to the continent. The region's power grid operator, ISO New England Incorporated, has warned. Where did that go? Has warned that extremely cold weather could strain the reliability of the grid and potentially result in the need for rolling blackouts to keep up with electricity supply and demand. Warning comes as executives and analysts predict power producers could have to pay as much as several times more than last year for gas deliveries if severe weather creates urgent need for spot market purchases. So, if you are living back east, you're going to freeze, is what it sounds like.
Yep.
So,
And I think the thing that pisses me off the most about that is we're one of the world's largest natural gas producers, but it was all shut down.
We have more natural gas under American soil and American waters than I think somebody said all the other countries in the world combined.
Yeah.
And most of it we're not allowed to tap into.
Yep. So same thing with the oil production. This is all needless. All of it.
It's all by design.
Even President Obama's one of his financial guys were talking about this is a huge mistake shutting all this stuff down.
Hell, even Elon Musk, who makes his living off electric cars,
Right,
has said we need natural gas and oil, at least for a while.
Yeah, let the tech. I'm all for it if the technology was there.
Yeah, it's not, and the infrastructure is not there.
No, it's I don't know. It's ridiculous. It's like the Wright brothers saying, "All right, we're going to go to space."
Yeah,
they flew what for 12 seconds.
12 seconds.
Their first flight. Do that. All right, we're ready to go to space now. Let's do it.
Yep.
Really, that's what it is.
It's just almost that way. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, I'm going to share. I got a couple more I want to share. This is more not political, but this is more preparedness related. So I want to share these up real quick. This is just to think about things, okay? This is a thug punches, stomps, drags 66-year-old man on a sidewalk in broad daylight as a victim repeatedly hollers for help, and thug steals bag containing $17,000 in cash. All right, one of the first questions that I think would probably pop up, not really in my head, but some people are going to ask, well, what was an old man carrying $17,000 for?
Why does it matter?
As asinine as it sounds, I guarantee somebody's going to ask that. This is just meant, pay attention to your surroundings. Like I said a little bit ago, pay attention. Know what's going on around you. So Not to mention,
If
but
I'm
obviously
carrying
somebody's.
if
Oh, go
I'm
ahead, sorry.
carrying $17,000 in cash, I'm going to be packing
Yeah,
openly.
real quick. But they said he was heard repeatedly on video hollering for help. Obviously, somebody
There were witnesses.
filmed it. I mean, we got a picture of it right here.
Yeah.
And
What the
nobody
hell,
will.
people?
Well, hey, you know
Help
what?
the
Here's
little old
the
man.
yeah. Here we go. Here's a video.
Help the little old man, for God's sake.
So we're
You can hear him yelling for help.
yeah. Yeah, obviously there's somebody filming it.
Yeah. What
Yeah, that's
the
bullcrap.
hell?
I mean, that shows you how inhumane a lot of people have become.
They don't
this is
care.
in
They
New
care
York.
more
No.
about the video hit clicks than whether
Right.
the little old man they've known since they were 3 is getting the shit beat out of him.
Yep. Yeah, Chris said so. They videoed rather than helping. That makes me sick. Absolutely, yes, it does. It is sickening. I mean, I would like to think that people like in our area would stop and help, and I think most of them would.
Enough would.
Yeah, somebody would get involved. And then next story, the last story I've got is Alaska's snow crab season canceled for the first time ever. Officials perplexed by mysterious disappearance of 1 billion crabs.
No more all-you-can-eat crab legs at
Yeah, I
Red
know it.
Lobster.
So, just a heads up, if you like crab, it's going to get even more expensive. I'm sure they're going to blame it on. Yeah, here we go.
Yep.
Said, I mean, oh,
It's
well,
all global warming.
all global warming or what have you. But anyway, that's all the stories. I mean, it's something to think about how weak our supply chain really is.
Yeah.
On a normal day, not counting what's going on right now. I mean, if something happens and shuts down, crab fishing or whatever, that's a huge business. I mean, these guys
Yeah.
make millions of dollars in a matter of weeks.
Yeah.
Fishing these crabs and
These guys will pay for their whole year in 2 weeks.
right. So there goes a bunch of livelihood right there. I mean, sure, they'll probably pick up something else, fishing or whatever, because they got to make money. They got to pay for the boats and whatever. But still, it's pretty rough. Especially up there. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't want to do it. All right. So moving on. For tonight's topic, we're going to talk about the parallel economy. I mean, you've heard me say probably a few times, spit yourself out of the system. You have all of these different businesses that are supporting causes that you may not agree with. If you agree with them, fine, support them. That's on you. I know most of these businesses I do not support. Verizon is a big one. And kind of what we're talking about is not necessarily a different type of economy, but we're talking about a parallel economy, economies that will support your beliefs, that won't send your money to causes that you disagree with. That's kind of where we're sitting right now. I heard a lot of talk today, as a matter of fact, talking about another again, the national divorce. Is it looming? Possible. I don't know. In some ways, I would probably be okay with it.
Yeah, I'd be a little sad, but
yeah,
sometimes it's better for everybody to just go their separate ways.
Sometimes it's better for the kids. So done research, listening, all of this. There's tons of businesses out there, small businesses, even some big businesses. BlackRock. You guys have heard of BlackRock, I'm sure. It's a financial investor, hedge fund managers. I'm not a huge financial guy, so forgive me on this. But they have done nothing but support this whole ESG. You guys have heard us talk about, the environmental social governance scores that are coming about. People are catching on, and I think it's amazing. It does. It gives me a little bit of hope that people are waking up, but they're losing their butts right now. People are catching on, and they're like, nope, I don't want to do business with you. They're pulling their money from this hedge fund manager. They lost, I think it was like $700 a share, and they're down to damn near $500. Hopefully it keeps going. If you look at PayPal, which I will no longer use PayPal, they're just going to impose a fine on people that they disagree with for like $2,500 and just take it right out of their account. To me, that's theft.
Yeah, that is absolutely theft.
Just because you disagree with me? Well, okay.
They're not the government. They do not have the power to fine me.
They do not. But now, and it was, I can't remember the exact verbiage of it, but now it's basically offensive things. If this person or company or whatever supports these offensive causes, they'll fine them $2,500. Okay, who deems it offensive? Who has that authority? Capital One.
Who gave them the authority to do it?
Right. It's either Capital One or Chase. I can't remember which one. They are going through, and if they find out that people are supporting not the woke causes and all that stuff, like I heard there was a Christian organization, it's a 501c4 organization, a Christian organization. They shut their bank account down. The bank account which these people or this organization paid their payroll out of, donated out of, they shut it down. No notice. They just shut it down because they don't agree with them.
It's not their job.
No, absolutely
not. Their right.
There's
no right for that.
No.
I would take it to the Supreme Court.
Absolutely. I think there needs to be a law, and I heard it, and I disagree with it, or I didn't disagree with it. I agreed with it, but I heard it that if they take money from the federal government, they need to abide by the Constitution. There needs to be a law. And I absolutely 100% agree with that.
I absolutely agree.
If you're taking my money as a taxpayer, in which I turn around and give you money to do business with you, you absolutely need to abide by the Constitution. And that goes for Facebook, for YouTube, any of that crap. If you're doing business using federal government funds that the people
of any kind,
you need to abide by the Constitution. But so there's banks closing people's accounts they don't agree with. We talked about it here a few weeks ago about these credit card companies tracking gun purchases that we are legally allowed to own. Phone companies and stuff taking your money and supporting, I'd say that supporting companies who you may not agree with, so supporting abortion, that's a huge one. But the good thing is now there are companies and entities coming out in support of things that some of the same things you might support.
Hey, I got one for you.
What's that?
Kanye West has decided that Donald Trump and Elon Musk have got the right idea and has decided he wants to buy Parler and give it a facelift and make it successful.
Right. Kanye West is the one I was thinking of. That's who I think it was Chase Bank shut down because they disagreed with him. Kanye West, one of the hugest names in entertainment. I don't know anything about the guy because I've probably never even heard his music because I don't listen to that genre. But they shut him down.
Yep, because he's going to give legitimacy, according to them,
right.
to more power to
him. And you have Parler, you have Rumble now coming online. They're on the stock market now, and I think we're going to start shifting some of our stuff over to Rumble. just the social media scape, Truth Social, which I have a personal account on there. I've never really got in there and messed around, but
I haven't tried it.
there are now more and more options. It's a lot like Facebook, I guess. I mean, I haven't really got on there and messed around very much, but there's a bunch of different options now for people to go and support your causes. If you support what Facebook is doing, by all means, go. If you support Verizon, and I keep saying Verizon for a reason, go, because there is another alternative. There's a conservative alternative, a constitutionally supporting alternative, and it's Patriot Mobile. And I fully intend to shift to them once my contract is up. I don't know. There's so many different businesses, and actually Dan Bongino, if you're not familiar with him, he's a former Secret Service agent, former law enforcement, obviously. Has his own radio show, has a show on Fox News, has his own podcast, but he's part owner in Rumble. He's part owner in Parler. And he's pushing this website. It's called paralleleconomies.com. And you go on here, and I'll share it so you can see. And again, this may not be your cup of tea, and if not, that's fine. That's totally your decision. But he's got a business directory of people that support that. Your if you have conservative beliefs or whatever. There's articles up. 5 small parallel economies. Well, they got small parallel economies on Truth Social. I haven't really messed around on this website.
I just favorited it so I can check it out later this week.
Oh, okay.
So I added it to my.
There's all sorts of companies. See alcohol. Let's see what this one is. Three Stripes Winery. Never heard of it.
But I'm going to buy alcohol from them.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. What's a good one here? Banking and finance. Let's check that one out. Prosperity lending, mortgage for business owners and self-employed professionals.
I like it.
And
I have a website that I think everybody will find interesting as well, along the same vein.
Yeah. Web design, Squad Pod, Parallel Economy Team Communications. Squad Pod is a great parallel economy alternative to big tech team communications platform made in USA. Lots of features for your team. I may have to check that out.
Yeah, we might have to check that out.
Let's see, MPP, web design, SEO, and content creation. Let's see. I mean, there's kind of, they got music, health. They got services, 5 patriotic payment alternatives for e-commerce. Let's click on that one.
Oh yeah, let's check that out.
Parallel economy. Those of you who regularly listen to Dan Bongino on Rumble know that he hates feeding the beasts who hate him. This is one of the many reasons he created this payment alternative platform. In addition to being able to sell wherever you want, the service also offers simplified pricing with a flat rate on each sale and monthly rate. Streamlined with one account, having your sign up, next day funding to get your funds as quickly as possible, a white glove service with excellent tech support,
nice.
A line pay, Second Amendment processing. That's a veteran-owned and operated business, offers credit card processing, point of sale services, mobile PayFac as a service, B2Bs, and of course e-commerce. They have competitive rates, transparent rate structure, and cancellation policy that makes you feel comfortable giving them a try. Gab Pay and Getter Pay. I mean, so there are options. I mean, you might think, well, I don't want to support these people. I don't want to, but I don't have any other options. Thankfully, there's other options coming to be. And again, this falls back to the community. No matter how small. I mean, Mark, you've got something to share on that, right?
Yes,
I actually, economy, something like that. Okay,
I do, and I'll post the link to this website tonight when I get off here. Let me show you this. All right, this is How to Build a Parallel Economy by Peter Murray, his website. And if you guys look on here, he's got a diagram of how a parallel economy, a community economy would work. He's got several versions of the same thing, but I think it's definitely something to pursue. But it's got your community bank, credit union, local exchange trading system, workshops, researches, community cooperatives, co-op businesses, food co-ops. I mean, he lays it all out, how to build a parallel economy. So I think it's
That's
something
good.
worth checking out.
Yeah, it definitely is. Especially if things keep going the way they seem to be going. It's going to get more rough. You're going to have to depend on your community. And I think that's really been our mantra since we stepped back into this after our hiatus here is just you need to build a community
Community is
because
king.
you cannot do this on your own. And and what amazes me is there's people that are now realizing this. You got to have that community. Use your local credit union for banking. Stop using these big names like Bank of America or Wells Fargo. They're all part of the beast. So go to your local credit union and ask them if they're affiliated with any of these people.
I bank with a regional bank.
Right.
It's based in Kansas.
Yep. Yeah, there's so many different business on it. I'll share the link to this paralleleconomies.com in the show notes because I'm going to do some more digging with it as well. But it's extremely important that you spit yourself out of the system now. Use cash where you can, because if you're using cash and people local are going to start seeing the need for cash, they're not going to dump it. I took my kids to a soccer game down in Tulsa here, I don't know, a month or so ago, 2 months ago.
Something like that.
And
Yeah.
the whole stadium was cashless. It was all card, use your card or what have you, or your swipe or whatever you want to call it. So start using cash wherever you can. I know it's not as convenient as just throwing your card in there, letting it read your chip, or tapping your card or your wallet or your phone or your watch or whatever. But it also tells that business owner there's still a need for cash. So hopefully enough people will do that. You'll have somebody willing to fight to keep cash because they're trying to push away from it. There is a conglomerate like the big banks. They're going to come out and start doing the testing for your social credit scores.
Yeah, that's going to be a nightmare.
Yeah. So keep that in mind too. If you stop using these big banks, you're taking their power away from them. Vote with your dollars.
That is a very effective way.
Absolutely, it is. My wife
Money
said, find
talks.
somebody. No, go ahead. Sorry.
Money talks and bullshit walks.
Absolutely, it does. My wife said, find somebody local to buy eggs from.
And I have found a wonderful place to get eggs. They are delicious, and I've been eating them every morning for breakfast. I highly recommend.
But yeah, I mean, start thinking of little things that you can do, little things to do to preserve your way of life, the way you see fit. I mean, if you're all about convenience, who's not? But you have to think it's going to get rough. I think it's all but done for the economy. I think it's just a matter of time before it collapses. That's my personal opinion, backed up by the evidence that we see every day with inflation, with the banks doing what we talked about. I mean, they're running the Fed and the government. The government isn't going to be able to pay their interest rates as the Fed keeps raising interest. So it's something to think about how to preserve your way of life, because it's going to get rough. It's going to take work. And again, it goes back to the whole community thing, but get involved with a parallel economy now. Create your own parallel economy. You follow that link Mark's going to share. Create your
I
own
got it
parallel
up.
economy with your community. Learn barter, learn trade. And I wish I need to get a hold of Mike Ma. I really do. Mom
Yeah,
said,
he'd be good on this.
yeah, he would. Mike said our voices are echoing. Is everybody else hearing that too? I don't hear the echo.
I'm not hearing an echo on my end.
Yeah, find a way. I mean, I'd love to get Mike back on because he's like the king of barter. I mean, he uses
Yep.
gold and silver in everything.
And there is nothing wrong with a barter economy.
No, there's not.
It worked for tens of thousands of years. It'll work now. It's simple. It's
Yep.
the simplest way of trade. I have something you want. You have something I want. I'll trade you.
Right. And but the biggest thing is if all this comes down the way that is being talked about, they're going to be making barter illegal, all that, so they can control everything. Because believe it or not, I mean, we live in a total surveillance state.
We do.
have for the last 10 years, easily.
Oh, it's
Ever
been
since the
longer than
Patriot
that.
Act.
Ever since the
Yep.
Patriot Act, yeah.
Ever since the Patriot Act, we've lived in a total surveillance state. They
20
know all
years.
of our action. I mean, everybody leaves home with that. Myself included. I'm not counting myself out. Everybody's got their tracker in their pocket or on their waist or in their shirt or in their purse or whatever.
My electronic slave collar.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. But I'm not convinced that I want to leave it at home, because what if my wife needs to get a hold of me? What if something happens to one of my kids? I mean, we've gotten so accustomed to having that right there at our hands. It's got everything we want. It's got a camera. It's got a video camera. It's a computer. You can look anything up.
I use mine as a book reader.
A book reader. I mean, remember your teachers in school telling you you'll never be able to carry a calculator around while you're an adult. Well, guess what? It's got a calculator on there too.
I've got more computing power than the entire U.S. government had when we put men on the moon.
Right. So find a way, folks. Find a way to support the businesses that you want to support. And that's the biggest thing, is start giving these businesses your money. Again, vote with your dollars. If you don't agree with what your company stands for, the company that you do business with, like Walmart or Target. I know Target's a big one. They're big, very vocal about this whole bullcrap agenda.
Yeah.
Vote with your dollars. Stop giving them that money and they'll shut up. Start locally. Again, this whole local community thing. If you have, let's say, for boycotts, if you want to institute a boycott, let's say Coke is doing something you disagree with. Coca-Cola.
They are.
They're a huge umbrella, a mother umbrella. There's so many different chains underneath them. But let's say Coke is doing something you absolutely agree with, right? And you want to institute a boycott, which boycotts do work, absolutely. But it's got to be done right. Okay, so you're not going to just sit there and boycott Coke. Go to your locally ran businesses, gas stations, restaurants. You support Coke, I'm not going to support you anymore.
Right. That's why I don't buy Levi's.
Right. And it sounds like a jackass move because you might know somebody that owns that restaurant. But listen, this is what I'm doing. As long as you're serving Coke products, you will not get my business. It's nothing against you. It's against the principle of the company.
Right.
That is how you institute a boycott. It's not, they don't give a crap if you go, I'm not going to buy a damn bottle of soda again. They don't care about that. But if they start having businesses turn their business away, where they sell a huge volume, especially like convenience stores and stuff like that,
Right.
that's when you're going to get their attention.
When they start losing money, when they start hemorrhaging cash, they're going to
Right.
say, "Huh, well, look at Gillette. Gillette went all woke, and all of a sudden they had no customers, and they had to
Yeah.
backtrack.
Yeah.
They basically
Oh, I
told the
mean,
boss to shut the hell up."
yep. Well, I mean, PayPal, when that came out here a couple weeks ago, people, they lost their butts.
And they're continuing to.
Because people are, no, we're not doing that. You're going to take my money for believing a certain way. You can kiss my butt
Well, you know,
by all rights.
Elon Musk had the best quote about wokeness and stuff recently. He said that wokeness gives people a shield to be mean and cruel, armored in false virtue. And it's absolutely correct.
Yep.
And that's what these companies are doing.
Yep.
Because they think it's going to make them look good.
Right. And that's the thing is you start looking at companies like BlackRock, these hedge fund managers. They're going to do businesses with companies that agree with them. Why can't we do that?
Right.
There's nothing saying we can't do that. If you have money and what's that? Sorry.
What's good for the goose is good for the gander.
Right. Right. Except they're working on multi-billion dollars, where you're working at, whatever you're able to invest. And again, I am no financial expert by any stretch of the imagination. But if they can do it, you can do it. Because
Absolutely.
if this company isn't getting on board with the whole ESG crap, they're not going to invest in it. BlackRock won't invest in it. So that company won't be as strong. That's why a lot of these companies are going to that. Because they want to make money.
At your expense.
Right.
But
if you start pulling...
Oh, go ahead.
If you start pulling your money from, say, companies like BlackRock, there's another big hedge fund manager. I can't remember the name of it, but there's now a conservative version of these guys, and they're competing hard, supporting companies that support drilling for oil and all this crap. I can't remember the name of it. If I find it, I'll share it. But
let's put that up on the site.
Yeah. Anyway, you were going to say?
Oh, that was my point. If they can do it in the large scale, what happens if tens of millions of Americans start doing the same thing in the small scale? Well, I'm here to tell you that although the individual numbers are small, when you start working with numbers in the tens of millions, if 10 million people invest $100 in conservative companies, then that's what? $1 billion?
Yeah.
Excuse me if my maths are wrong. Maths were never my strong point.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, that's where it's got to be at. It's got to come from us. There's a reason the founders gave the people the power.
yeah.
I mean, that's been turned on its head, obviously. It's been turned on its head over the last almost, 250 years almost.
Yeah.
It's been turned on its head. But we can still take that power back.
We can usurp the usurpers.
Right.
As it were.
I mean, like I said earlier in the show, this has been a 100-year plan from the progressives.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. It's not going to be fixed overnight. But we all should do our part and support local businesses, support your community. Because you're not going to care if anything, if the collapse happens, you're not going to care about what happens in New York. You're not going to care about what happens in LA, which I personally really don't care anyway, but it's not. You're going to worry about what's happening in your local community, in your state. You're going to worry about what your state is going to do to help repair the damage, or the federal government, They don't give a damn about us.
No. No, they surely don't.
So that's
We're
but
choking to death on here.
yeah. Man, is that you or me?
What's that?
It's like a bunch of man, I think I'm hitting hold on. I may have to shut my damn earbuds off again. Or I don't know what's going on. It's like you're breaking up, but I don't know if it's you or me.
Oh, I hear you fine. I hear me fine.
Well, it did this a while back too.
I'm telling you, it's the technology overlords trying to shut us up.
I think so. I really do. Hold on. I'm gonna try something real quick.
I'd figure you'd be doing better on the internet as much as you talk Elon Musk up.
I know it.
Yeah, he should be giving you preferential services.
I'm telling you. I mean, I'm not exactly a huge fan of his, but I respect him.
I do respect. He is he's a liberal. I'm not going to, there's no two ways about it. He's a liberal, but he's not a far left liberal. He is a middle of the road person. And unfortunately, the middle of the road is now in the right ditch.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And that's what's sad.
But I respect him. He believes in freedom. He believes in the American people and the Constitution.
Yeah, but the thing is he's not from here.
No, he's not.
So he understands it better.
He's seen what it's like to not be free.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I think it was my headset. I'm not hearing it now. I've got you on the speaker.
Oh, well, we'll need to get you a new one.
Yeah. I've got a couple more pairs I can try. But yeah, it's ridiculous the way things are working right now. But to me, there's hope now.
I feel like there is. We've just got to pursue it.
Right. And that's why I wanted to do tonight's show is kind of get the word out and say, hey, there are options now. If there's a company, and pay attention to the companies, look them up, look what they're pushing. If they're saying anything about not equality, but equability or an equitable start. The whole equality thing is everybody's equal, right, to pursue their dreams or pursue their goals. They're not guaranteed the end result. Where you start hearing these people talk about equitable circumstances, it's everybody has the same start and same end.
No.
No matter how hard you work, it's still going to be the same end as somebody that doesn't work very hard. It's socialism. It's socialism. It's what it comes down to.
Well, that old joke when somebody asks you how many people work in your workplace and you say about half.
Yeah.
That's about what the country is right now.
Right.
And it's going to get worse.
Well, yeah. But right now, I heard the figures last week. There's 1.6 jobs for every person in the United States. Job openings. So I understand there's people, we're no different right here. But we work a day job. But there's people that are trying to do their own thing. And I respect that. But you still have to work somewhere.
Yeah.
You got to pay your bills. You got to take care of your families and all that. And I know most people know this. This is nothing new. But some people and I would say it's probably a younger generation. I'm going to be a YouTube star. I'm going to be a TikTok star or whatever, get their 5 minutes in fame.
Meanwhile, they're living in their mom and dad's basement.
Right. They have that cushion. Because mom and dad will pick me up if I fall. You know, they have that mentality. Not all of them
No,
by
not
any
all of
stretch of imagination. I'm not trying to group them all into one group because not all of them are like that. A
We've
lot
had
are
some fine young
hardworking.
men come into our workplace recently.
Yeah, it sure seems like it. You know, so uh, but on the other hand, you got people that have been coddled all their life too.
Yeah,
You
that is
know,
also
and
true.
so uh, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is,
Well, if we
but
ever figure it out, we'll be rich guys.
let's figure it out then.
All
I want
right,
to do
we'll
this
get
full
on it.
time. I mean, like I said, you know, we put the awe in awesome.
Awesome.
I mean, we do.
That's going to be a T-shirt, man.
I know we put the
That's a
awe.
T-shirt. I will wear that T-shirt. I will wear that T-shirt out. I will even wear jeans so people can read my T-shirt. And you all know, I'm telling you, pants are for losers. I either wear overalls or sweats. So you can guess what I'm wearing. But I will wear jeans so I can walk around and share that T-shirt.
Yeah, we'll figure something out. I mean, we've got that software. We just will put it to use, huh? Chris said, "Hurry and get that shirt made." I don't think she wants to see the shirt. I think she wants to see you in pants.
That could very well be. It's been years. I have one pair of jeans that I wear for pictures.
Yeah. I gotta. I gotta. Man,
I'm killing him, man.
I got a few pairs of jeans. Usually shorts though.
I've got some of those too. They're still not pants.
Who's this here? Somebody posted. I'll share it here in a second. I gotta see who it is first. Let me pull it up here. Oh, Shane. Shane thought you guys put the "oh" in all hell. Well, pretty much because that's what somebody's going to say when they hear us. Oh crap! Not these guys.
What are these clowns up to these days?
Yeah, no, we're just here to have a good time. I mean, that's what it's about. Maybe pass on some information. Man, I don't have a lot more. I mean, like I said, I'll share that.
I want to pursue this further and talk about it
Yep.
again, but I'm glad we could put this bug in people's ears and get them to looking and thinking about it.
Yep, I will. Like I said, I'll share the link to the paralleleconomies.com. I'll share that. That way you'll be able to see that and have a direction to go. I think that's the biggest thing is it's starting to become more mainstream, really.
Well, yeah,
Uh, because people are starting to look for alternatives. Uh, but the biggest alternative is just support your local businesses. You know, it may be a
absolutely.
little bit more expensive, but
Buy
you're
American
helping, yeah, as best you can because it's
as
tough.
best you can, because sometimes you can't.
Mm-mm. Uh, you know, support your local businesses. It might cost you a little bit more, but you're helping your neighbor. You know, you're helping them pay for their kids' braces or helping them pay a medical bill. Uh, things like that. You know, that's what made us America.
It is.
It it wasn't the Walmarts. It wasn't any of these big corporations.
Well, Sam Walton did, and then it got out of hand.
Right. He'd be turned over in his grave.
He would. He would be so mad at his family right now. He'd be
Yeah.
spitting nails. I believe. I could be wrong, but that's my belief.
Yeah. It seems that way. You know, I mean, there's so many good businesses that around here there's a lot of little home businesses or mom and pop businesses popping up. Like the in Caney came up. Was it last year they came out? They started. They saw a need.
Yeah.
And and frankly, if you guys see a need locally, don't wait for somebody.
Yeah.
Start it.
We got a coffee shop now that didn't exist, and it's a nice place. They've got good food and they've got good coffee.
I mean, fulfill a need. See a need, fulfill a need.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can do it, do it.
Yeah.
Don't wait for somebody.
Yeah.
I mean, all I'm good at is running my mouth. So here we are. We're feeling the need. So, I don't know what that need is. Entertainment.
You can show the video to your mice and they'll run away.
Yeah, I mean, we're giving people inspiration. Don't be like those jackasses. We can do better. So.
That's true. That's true.
But man, I don't have a lot more. I don't know what you've got. Anything else?
I really don't. I'm looking forward to Wednesday's show.
Yep.
On the Fringe, and we've got the On the Fringe in the corner today. That's because, well, StreamYard wasn't cooperating and letting us change it. So,
yep, we'll get her straightened out. And for those of you, I know that you guys haven't heard yet because I haven't posted that episode yet because we had our first troll.
yes.
For those of you that if you're watching now or listening, had our first troll last week during the Fringe, and was quite inappropriate. Part of it was my stupidity. I trusted too soon. Sarah, not the troll. But if you weren't here, we talked. It was a great show. It was. It was a good show all the way to it, and luckily it was towards the end because I was so frustrated and trying to bite my tongue, and because of the way this came about, it just kind of derailed the show. So I apologize for that, for letting that happen. I had, I think, a little bit too much to drink to really contain it and think it through. So I was just trying to contain it. So, but that guy is banned from the Facebook group. I got another message from him the other day. It didn't have anything on there, but he messaged me. So I made sure I blocked him, banned him. But the video is forthcoming because I deleted it off YouTube and Facebook. The video of the show, once I get it edited, will go back up on YouTube, and I just need to get the episode up on wherever you listen to your podcast at. So I'm sure will be out before that will. So because this will go up tomorrow night, I'll probably have them both about the same. So come back, check that show out on the Fringe. It was a really good show with Jess and Pam.
It was a good show.
And it was Jersey Devil. We talked to Jersey Devil. We talked to Mothman. What else we talk about?
Indrid Cold,
which I want to go more in depth on that. We were talking about, was it ley lines? We talked ley lines. We talked
a lot about ley lines.
Yep. That's right. Absolutely right.
You did miss a lot.
Absolutely right. You just goes to show you miss a lot if you don't watch live. Yep. Come watch.
It was
live.
A lot more than I wanted to see.
You ain't kidding. Yeah, this jackass that he shows some stuff that is really inappropriate, especially when there's two ladies on the show. I mean, that was really ridiculous. Our wives, your daughter was on there. I mean, so they're adults, but it doesn't matter. I mean, that's pretty disrespectful. But it is what it is, I guess. You live, you learn. We'll move on. But I think it was Sarah that said, so you guys have hit it big. You finally got your first trolls.
I mean, yeah, it's true. I'm a star.
Yeah, and they did get us. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Who you ask? My wife said, "Who? A lady?"
Where? I
Yeah.
have lost video, guys.
Oh, I can still see
I'm
you.
back.
Okay.
Oh, my table moved, and I must have unplugged my monitor. Oops.
But yeah, man, I'm good. Again, look into it, y'all. Look into supporting these businesses that might support what you believe in. At least support freedom,
Yep.
and
I've
that's
already
really
got
key.
paralleleconomies .com on the group.
Sweet, sweet.
So
And I will share it here on the links to the show. Yeah, man, check it out. Figure out who you can support. I'm sure they're adding more and more as the time goes.
I'm going to be on there. I'm
So
going to get rid of PayPal as soon as possible.
yes, absolutely. Um, and actually, we need to get Carrie back home. Man, I got to get on the ball about getting some people scheduled, especially for the Fringe. It's just been hectic and all that stuff. And I'll chat with you after the show. There's something I want to get together with, but anyway, folks, I don't have anything else to add. Mark,
I'm
if you
good.
don't, we'll go ahead and close her out. Obviously, folks, again, thanks so much for hanging out with us. Thanks for so much for listening to us and supporting us. We joke we'd like to have a good time. And personally, I feel that we have kind of opened up a little bit more, if that makes any sense. So it's definitely a welcome experience, especially with the chat. So if you're just listening, come join us in the chat. It's so much fun in the chat.
It
So,
really is.
with that being said, we appreciate you all, and we'll catch you next episode.
Good night.